Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the garage. Today we're on part 6 of a series of Steiner attachments. Today we're going to be covering the cab. So this is the 430 Max, as you've seen in some of the other videos. And on it we do have the winter cab. So Steiner only made one cab for the 430, you can see it here. They actually made a cab for the 430 and the 420. This cab you see here is for a 420, but I have it on a 430, and we'll cover that in a little bit. Just a quick walk around of the cab. So it is metal, steel obviously. It does have a front solid glass, side doors that open, and these are going to be your not plexiglass, but a clear plastic. And then obviously it has the canvas material on a solid metal frame. Coming around to the back, obviously hard roof, steel back, rear glass, and then coming around, same thing on the other side. Both doors do open, which is nice. Some cabs don't. Both doors do swing the whole way back, which I like. One of the things I also like about this cab is that the doors are completely removable in literally seconds. They just pick up. So they just sit down on pins here and pins here. You can grab the whole door and pick it right off. Something that makes that nice is that, let's say it's a warmer day and you want to keep the cab on, or some guys leave the cab on year round, but they are removable. Moving to the inside of the cab, let me show you kind of how it seals up. So the machine does articulate. So all it is elastic pieces. I've got here and here. There would be a top piece just like this one. I just use a bungee cord because the tractor has to move, so that's what these openings are about. Also, you have to be able to get to your PTO turn on, or maybe you want to see connecting and disconnecting. So it doesn't seal up real tight on the front, but it's only down where your legs are. Same with on the back side of the cab. It just comes down. You do have an opening in the back. I've seen guys that put filler panels in here. You can do that if you want. I've never seen the need to. Also down here, it's open through to the tractor. You could put a filler panel in there that I've seen guys do. To be completely honest with you, I have the reverse fan set up in this. I'll do another video on that, but there's so much heat in this cab coming off of the motor with the reverse fan. Most of the time, even on a really cold, windy day, I'm only in a hoodie. I'm not even in a jacket. Some of the things I did on the outside of the cab, just to keep wind out, is I did use this foam tape. This is the same stuff you would see on the bed of a truck in between the cap and the bed. And I just lined it the whole way around because I did find that although you don't get as much wind through here, you would, when the door was not sealed completely, you would get a lot of wind coming in this way, and that would be blowing in your face. And I didn't like that, so I actually sealed it the whole way down. It worked really well. When the door's shut, you can actually see the imprint where it sits in the foam. So that worked really well for the doors. Let me show you here. And how you close and open this is it just moves this latch, and that hooks onto this right here. So you're going to push it in. You can kind of see right here how it latches. And that's going to lock, and then it's completely tight. Some other features of the cab, it does have a wiper. It is a power wiper. Some things I've added, you can see there's a 30-inch LED light bar on the front. That lights up. And then I do have a code 3 LED light bar on the top. I also have a LED light bar, strobing light bar in the back, along with the chevron striping. You may be wondering, why do I have this? It kind of seems like overkill. I do plow right along a main highway. I mean, literally right on the berm of a main highway. And I want to be as visible as I possibly can. You would think being in a big red tractor, people would see you, but you would be surprised how many close calls I've already had before the lights were on. So I did put the lights on. I'll show you that real quick. I mounted everything up in a custom pod, I will call it. You can buy these online. It's just a plastic pod. This is the controller for the light bar on the roof. This is the controller for the light bar on the back. And then I do have some on-offs. So this is your main power. To flip this on, it'll turn everything on. If I turn that off, there's no power going to the cab at all. This is going to be your wiper, and then this is going to be your front LED light. So I have it set up now where the light bars are on. So if I flip this switch on, I'll go ahead and flip it on. The light bars are going to come on. Now, the roof light bar does have about, I don't know, 30 or 40 patterns. And the rear light bar, I think, has 10 different patterns. So just by flipping that on, that's going to go ahead and turn my light bars on. And they're already set to the patterns that I have found are the most visible patterns. So then with that on, the main power on, you can then go ahead and turn the wiper on if you need the wiper. So you can see here, or you can flip on the front LED light bar. And I want to tell you something, at night, that LED light bar is amazing for plowing snow. You can see no issues at all. Much better than the headlights. There are some guys who did some YouTube videos online already with different LED headlight switch outs. I've found that just having this light bar on there, that's everything I need for plowing and more. So this is going to turn your light bar off, obviously your wiper on and off, and then if for some reason you want to just turn everything off, I use the main switch. I just want to show you guys real quick, super simple how I did the wiring. So you've got your wiper motor, and I just run that again into this box that I had purchased that I mounted everything in. Inside that box is all the wiring, and then I just run one wire out, power and ground, and they come back in a wire loom. You see the wiring for the rear bar, and then they just literally come right down the roll bar, all in wire loom. Let me see if I can jump out here, show you real quick. Then you just flip up where your battery is, run it right down in wire loom. I did notch my box a little bit, as you can see there, so that it doesn't cut the wire. Wire comes in, and I just go up. I have a fused link that goes to your 12-volt constant, and then obviously your ground. So I'll disconnect these two, and I just pull this wire back when I pull the cab off. Super simple. Keeps all the wiring on the cab. I don't have to monkey with anything. The cab's pretty self-explanatory inside. It is a bunch of panels that bolt together. Again, I've seen different videos of guys how they take them off. I remove them with the roll bar. The back of the cab actually mounts onto your roll bar. So if you don't have a roll bar for your Steiner and you want to get a cab, you're going to need to have a roll bar also. When I remove it, and I'll do a quick video on that sometime of removing it, I just take all the bolts out of the roll bar. I take the bolts out of the front. I bring the forklift over. I put it right over top of the cab. I run some straps down right underneath the cab, and I pick the whole cab off and I set it on a pallet. So that's a quick walk around of the Steiner cab. One other thing I'm going to tell you about real quick is this is a 420 cab. Let me see if I can show you on the part number. It's a CB420. So the major difference between a 420 cab, which was made for the 420 tractor, and the 430 cab made for the 430 tractor is, believe it or not, right here. On the 430 cab, the windshield is moved up about 2 inches. And what that does by moving up 2 inches is that allows the hood to open easily on the 430 model cab. If you have a 420 model cab and you go to mount it on a 430 tractor, this hood will be back underneath here, and you cannot open the hood in any way because of the way the cab is. So how you solve that problem is you do a modification to the bar on the bottom. Let me show you that now. All right, so looking at the underside of the 430, what you need to do to get a 420 cab to work on a 430 is you need to remove this sway bar right here. It's just 2 bolts, and when you take it out, you need to cut, and you can see where we did that right here. You need to cut about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, believe it or not, out of the bar, and then re-weld it. Now, I know that seems crazy that you're taking a perfectly good bar and a perfectly good working piece of equipment and cutting it up, but it's what you need to do. So what happens is, by shortening that up about 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch, what it will do is it actually, if I can explain, it actually rolls the tractor forward just a little bit, about an inch, 1.5 inches. It pinches the tractor in more here and pivots the front forward. And when it pivots the front forward, it actually moves your hood out so that you can open it up with the cab. I've seen a couple other guys talk about it on some forums, but I just wanted to cover it. The 420 cab with, again, the windshield that's 2 inches lower, if you measure from the top down on this front panel, a 420 cab is 2 inches longer than the 430 cab. And that's the easiest, fastest, quickest, best way to do it. You can see that it lines up pretty good. It does not change anything else on the tractor really, other than it just moves just a little bit here, enough to roll that front out and let that hood open up. Thanks for stopping into the garage today. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments section. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And until next time, at the garage.